and just kind of a more inward focused practice, less exertion, less effort. So let's begin our lunar flow on our backside. Lay down. Take your body out nice and long in a Shavasana. Move your heels away from your hips, the crown of your head away from your pelvis. Okay. So we have a big shift coming this week in addition to the new moon. This week, we have Neptune moving into the sign of Aries for the first time in over 100 years. The last time Neptune was in Aries was 1861 to 1875. It's like 2 whole centuries ago. That really, really, really blows my mind. Um, these types of transits, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, they move very slowly. They take their time over kind of broad windows of time. I think Neptune is like 14 to 16-ish years in one sign. So we get really used to that energy that becomes very familiar, very familiar, very familiar. What do we know about familiarity? What do you know about familiarity? How does that feel in your body? What do you think of when you think of familiar? There's probably a lot of different things, but the one that I want to focus on is the predictability of what is familiar. It's very safe in our bodies. If we're familiar with it, it doesn't make us feel panic. It doesn't make us feel like we don't know what's coming. It doesn't make us feel like uncertain. And that's a little bit of a scam certainty because no one really knows what's going to happen tomorrow and all that stuff. So when we have a change for the first time since 2011, that's when Neptune went into Pisces, where it is right now. It can feel a little bit different, especially if we are a little bit more sensitive people. We can feel a shift, we can feel a change, we can feel like something is on its way out. And that can make our systems feel a little bit panicked because it's suddenly what was familiar now is a little bit unfamiliar. It's unpredictable. And our bodies associate unpredictability with danger. It's just a survival instinct. The moon is in Aquarius today. That's waning down towards new. But Aquarius is a very electrical sign. This can make our emotional bodies feel a little bit more anxious, a little bit more nervous, a little bit more loquacious. We might want to talk about what we're feeling more. But with this upcoming shift, this waning moon, things are a little bit more introspective. We have a little bit more of an energetic, emotional body with the Aquarius moon. Today, we're just going to focus on regulation of our system. So we have tools, we have options for if things feel a little bit too unpredictable. Let's start by placing hands on belly. Bring your hands right beneath your navel. And just put all of your focus into the feeling of contact between your hands and your belly. See if you can feel warmth moving from your hands down into your belly. See if you can feel the weight of your hands resting on your belly. Some practices, some groups of people, some cultures think the energy that comes out of our hands has to pass through our heart first. I think that's accepted with Christianity too, because I think that's what Jesus was doing when he laid his hands on people. He was moving his energy from his heart out his hands. So imagine some of your heart energy moving down your collarbones to your shoulders, from shoulders to elbows to wrists to palms, and some of that love energy from your heart just moving directly into the pit of your belly. Take one more breath, focusing on the warmth, the weight. Then move your focus away from the physical, your hands on your body, to the intangible. So I want you to focus just on your exhale. Take that exhale out really long. Exhales are connected with our rest and digest nervous system. If you think back to old ancient times, warriors would take a big breath in before they ran into battle. And then when they were done, they could take the exhale. If you're being chased by a tiger or a lion or something that's threatening, you take a big breath in because you have to activate that nervous system, fight or flight. It sends oxygen to your muscles. It sends your resources away from your organs of digestion. You don't need to digest when you're running from a tiger. You need oxygen to go to your muscles so you can take bigger steps forward and put more energy into like sprinting. That was a very useful mechanism, but right now it's very detrimental. We don't have any tigers that sit with us in our offices or in our cars, but we're still breathing as if we do. It's signaling to our body that we have to be ready. Don't give me any energy to heal because I need to be ready to run or fight or hide. So that exhale then does the opposite. The exhale lets our body know you can't take a big sigh of relief if you're running from a tiger. The exhale is the part when you've gotten away and you can say, oh, thank God, I made it. Whew. Whew. We even make that sound when we're like relieved about something. It's a letdown. It lets our body know, okay, I don't need to run. I don't need oxygen in my muscles to fight or kick or scream. I can direct some of my energies towards my organs and towards repair and regeneration and healing. So the exhale is going to be a really important, easy, free tool for you to use as this like new energy comes in. Let's take your arms open into a big, wide T. And then walk your feet in so your knees bend. Oh, stretch your arms out as wide as you possibly can from middle finger to middle finger. Make lots of space. And then let your knees rock a little bit side to side. Let's bring our knees back towards neutral and bring your right knee in towards your chest. So getting close, take your left leg out long on the ground. And just pause for a moment to let go of all of your muscles. Scan through your body and identify where you are exerting effort and see if you can soften that. Just let it go. Let it relax, let it release. And start to rotate a couple of circles through your right ankle. Just a couple times around. Take a few points and a few flexes with that foot. And let your foot be still. Find that sensation of stillness again after movement. Just for a little contrast. And let's move this right knee from side to side. Shifting back and forth. Creating some movement, some fluidity in this right hip. Guide that knee back towards center and then make some dramatic circles with your knee all the way around your hip socket. Change the direction of your circles if you haven't. And then bring that knee back towards center. Let's grab onto the back part of the right thigh. We're going to inhale, lift your leg, point your foot, and then exhale, bend your knee, flex your foot up and down just a couple times on your own. Next time your leg is long, it's lifted all the way up towards the ceiling. Just hold your leg there for, just hold it still. You feel any more desire to move through your lifted foot, you can listen to that. Points and flexes or rotations, maybe just some wiggles of the toes. Let's open this right leg over towards the right side, keeping your hands there to just help provide a little bit of support. And switch sides, take your right leg up through center, cross it over your left side, and come into a big twist with this right leg stretched out, kind of dramatic. Let's come back to a wide arm. We'll reach our arms out nice and wide, and then turn your chin over towards the right. Guide your right knee back towards center. Bring it in close towards your chest. And then switch. Take your right leg out long. Pull your left knee in towards your heart. Take a moment just for stillness. Scan throughout your body. Notice where you are exerting effort. And do your best to let that effort subside. That is part of the exhale. It's like when the tide wanes out and there's no water at the beach. We let it go. Find some movement in your left foot. Circles, points and flexes, ankle rotations. And let that foot be still. Notice what stillness feels like in your body after movement. And then start to move your left knee from side to side. Notice how that motion feels. Is there anything, start to like identify, I guess, what is familiar in your body and maybe what is a little bit unfamiliar. Maybe, I think probably for most of us actually, um, pushing and trying and effort is a very familiar feeling. I think that probably the opposite is what is most unfamiliar, the unclenching, the simply being, the not being strenuous or effortful or like putting your best foot forward. That's probably unfamiliar to not do those things. Let's come back to center and then take some really dramatic circles with your left knee all the way around your hip socket a couple times. Change the direction of those circles. And then come back to center with your knee, hug it in close. Grab onto the back part of your thigh, lift and lower your leg a couple times with your breath. When we inhale, we lengthen, we point the toes. When we exhale, we bend and flex the toes up and down. One more, up and down. And then lift that leg back up to the ceiling. Let's pause in stillness here with the left leg up long. Stretch as much space between your left hip and your left heel as you can. Any movement that would feel good to your left ankle, your left foot, you can roll that through your foot now. Let's open this left leg over toward the left side. Just kind of getting into different parts of the back of our leg or the inside of our leg. Cross the left leg over the right side of the body. Take your arms open, nice and wide. Look over your left shoulder, bringing out your spine. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And then guide your left knee back towards center. Pull your right knee in towards your chest so both legs are in close. And then lift both of your feet up to the ceiling. Hold onto the backs of your thighs. Find some movement again with your feet. I just don't think we can ever do too much for our feet, for our ankles, especially after we cram them in shoes all day. That really changes the bone structure of our feet. It's really interesting to look at side by sides, actually, of what like wild people who don't wear shoes, what their feet look like, and what domesticated people who do wear shoes, what their feet look like. It's crazy. Let your feet open up, spread your toes. Let's bring our knees down towards our chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Nose lifts up towards your knees. And then release your head and shoulders down. Put your feet down on the ground. We're going to take a banana asana on each side before we come to our seat. So let's slide our hips over to the right side of the mat. We're going to lengthen out our legs, crossing right ankle over left. Then take your arms over your head. Make your banana shape to the left. So your arms and your feet reach to the left. We're opening up the right side from your right elbow all the way through your shoulder, your rib cage, above your hip bone on the right, and then down maybe even into your IT band a little bit on the outside of your thigh. Come back to your breath. And here, we'll still focus on the inhale. Even though we're in the exhale part of the lunar cycle, we still have to breathe in. But here in particular, I want you to notice when you breathe in, how your lungs expand, especially on this right side with all that space. You feel the muscles between your ribs. A little bit more room. Maybe it's around your armpit that you feel space being made. Or maybe exerting ourselves into stretch a little bit with that focus on the inhale. Let's calm it down. Let's come back to our exhale, to our choosing deliberately to not exert, to not push, to not strain, to not put any effort into this. It's just softness, it's release. It might be really unfamiliar, but that's okay. The breath in. Take a bigger breath out. And then slowly make your way over to the other side. Let's bend our knees, wiggle your body back to neutral, and then put your hips down on the left side. We'll straighten out the legs, crossing left ankle over right, and then reaching to the right for a banana shape in our bodies. Let's kind of take that same approach on this side. Notice how the inhale feels with a little bit of effort. Stretch to lengthen. See if you can reach more to really feel that opening in your left side body, between your ribs, between ribs and pelvis even. And then after a breath or two of effort, of striving, of trying, I want you to let all of that go and just bask in the exhale. Bask in the art of rest. I think it kind of is an art form. It's certainly a balance. It's just like if we only ever exhaled on a daily basis, we would be about just as productive if we only ever did effortless activities. We need both. I think we need both so much, both sides of the spectrum, both action and rest, both inhales and exhales. I think we need both so much that if we only focus on one, then we start to die. We start to get out of balance. We start to get unwell. Because we can only utilize half of our skill set. We only ever breathe in. We only ever tell our muscles that it's time to fight or hide. If we only breathe in, we only charge forward. We never reflect or review or analyze. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Slowly work our way back through center. Hips to center, spine to center. Let's take both of our knees, bring them in towards your chest. Cross your legs at your ankles, and then find your way up to a seated position. Sit your body up nice and tall. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you can hear my goofy cat, but she's so weird. Let's start to roll out our neck. So ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. Add a little bit of a swivel in by dropping your chin to your chest in between the sides. Make sure that your posture is really good. We want shoulders over hips. The next time your head falls to the right, let it stay there. Draw some little tiny circles with your nose. Just very small. See what sensations arise. Go back to your head swivels, sliding left ear over to left shoulder, and then right ear over to right shoulder. Just a very easy, gentle back and forth. Okay, next time your left ear falls to your left shoulder, pause, relax your shoulders, make your arms really heavy. And then do your little tiny nose circles. See how much sensation you can pick up on. Like where my nose is in the nose circle kind of creates a different feeling in my body. Nose circles sound so funny. Okay, a couple more head swivels, just gently rocking from side to side. Bring our gaze back to neutral. Switch your shins, bring the back shin around to the front. Let's see, because we are in a waning moon, we're going to do just a little bit of manual lymphatic drainage. So I want you to find where these thick ropey neck muscles insert down to your collarbones. There's like a little divot in between. Very gently make some circles right around that area, just kind of like drawing the skin in a circle. We're not pressing really hard. The lymphatic system is very delicate. It does not take a lot of effort, a lot of pressure to stimulate it. Okay, then let's come over to like the insides of the shoulder. So not quite like the ball part of the shoulder, but like where your bra strap or your tank top strap would go. It's a little bit softer. It's a little bit meatier. There's muscles there that our pec muscle that goes from our chest out. So again, just move the skin in circles. It's a stimulating lymphatic system, which is our waste removal. That's what this time of the year, um, or this time of the month is for. It's for the exhale, for the letting go. So we can stimulate that in our bodies by encouraging our waste removal system to wake up. Let's tap all the way around our breast tissue or your pec muscles if you're a man watching this. I don't know. I don't know of any men that watch this, so we'll just assume. Just tap, tap, tap all the way around. All right. Then make your hands into very light fists. So we're not going to punch ourselves, but we are going to bring our hands around to our backside. Just kind of wake up the kidneys. Kidneys live at the bottom of our rib cage. They're protected by a rib cage, but they're just underneath. So these gentle percussive movements can be like their wake-up call this morning. Our kidneys are important because it helps to balance the fluids, the electrolytes in our body. All right, then let's come back to, we'll relax our hands down. We'll come back to our neck. We're gonna just put your fingers on either side of your spine in the back, pull forward and down. Couple more times. Pull forward and down. And I'm saying pull, but it's more gentle than that. It's really just kind of like dragging the skin. It might feel like a waste of time. If you're a deep massage kind of a person, you might be like, this is worse than a feather. But I'm sorry, that's just how the lymphatic system works. I didn't invent it. Um, I think I think our bodies are brilliant. So I'm not going to argue with it. Very light pressure between fingers and skin. Let's do one more time, forward and down. Let's do a couple more downs. We have lymph nodes around that first point, around our armpits, and up here, like under our jaw. So let's come to the jaw next. We're going to make a little pinching shape with our thumbs and fingers, and a pinch and drag. I'm using the flat side of my knuckles to just drag. You might be like, Maggie, I don't have any lubrication on my face. I know, lymphatic massage doesn't come with lubrication. Um, it's very light pressure. It's almost like you're petting like an 89-year-old super bruise potential kind of a person. You don't want to put a lot of pressure because they'll get bruised and then you'll feel bad about it. Let's do one more. Awesome. And bring your fingertips to your temples and just start to make some circles. We're going to move from our temples kind of out across our entire scalp. So just have at it. Circles around the scalp helps to release tension. We do have lymphatic fluid. I like to try to like move my scalp like side to side. All the way around, just a little bit more. It's okay to mess up your hair. All right. Just a little bit more perfect. And then let's tippy tap, little raindrops all over our faces. We'll start at the top and work our way down. Lymphatic massage can increase lymphatic flow by like 20%. It's a very amazing number. This makes a big difference, even though it feels like it's a lot of nothing. That's kind of what this waning moon feels like to me. It's like rest. I don't have time for that. What else are you gonna do? Are you just gonna inhale for the rest of your life? I don't think so. I hope not. You won't live very long. Let's do one more from top to bottom. Very nice. Okay. Now relax, relax your shoulders. Let's take our arms, or I mean our legs out long in front of our bodies. Lean back on your hands and take your toes from side to side. Just let them kind of flop. Notice how that feels in your thighs and your hips. Okay. And come back up to a tall spine. Let's inhale, reach up through your fingertips, and exhale, fold your chest forward. Focus once more on those exhales, those breaths out. Now release. Your spine back up. Take your legs behind you. We're going to come into a tabletop. Tabletop position. Give yourself a good foundation by stacking shoulders on wrists. Let's turn our right fingertips out to the side and then spin them all the way around. So our fingertips point towards our right knee, and then just rock forward and backward a few times. Feel sensation stretching through the wrist and forearm. Feel this a lot on in my forearm. Let's take one more rock, and then we'll switch sides. Left fingertips turn out around, so they point back to the body, and find just a couple rocks forward and back. And good sensation through the left wrist and forearm. Let's come back to center, release. Turn all 10 fingers to point forward. Start to move your spine up and down. Big cats and cows. Come back to a neutral spine, and then pick up your right leg. Reach your right leg back to the wall behind you so your leg is in the air. Let's set the right foot down to the left side of the mat, and then look around your left shoulder to look at your heel. Let's come back. pull this right foot up between your hands so it comes up towards the top edge of your mat. Let's straighten that front leg out. Lift your chest up so your spine is really long, and then fold your chest down towards your thigh. Bring a bend back into your front knee. We're going to move into a shoestring pose, which we haven't done for a very long time, at least on here. We're going to cross our right knee in front of our left knee and then open your feet to the edges of your mat so you can sit down between your feet. We should kind of have our knees stacked. You can also just sit in an easy seat if that is more appropriate for your morning today. However you are, let's take our arms open wide and then take eagle with the right arm under the left arm. Pull your shoulder blades together slightly and make sure that your elbows are at shoulder height. On your next inhale, unwind, reach your arms out and up, big stretch, and then exhale, fold forward to the best of your abilities. Got a little bit more intensity with this deep hip stretch. So I love looking at patterns. I think I've made that kind of clear. I can't remember if I shared anything about the last time that Neptune was in Aries, which again was 1861 to 1875. There were a lot of things happening in the world at that time. The Civil War and all of like the litigation, the laws, the acts, everything that was passed as a result of that, which is all very interesting. We had the first transatlantic telegraph cable laid so we could send telegraphs to London and like the UK and places over there. We also had the first transcontinental railway that was established. So we're connecting edges of the country. That's pretty cool. Claude Monet and Impressionism art really kicked off during that time. So this is a time of pioneering new ground. It is a time for fighting for what you believe in, for being a warrior that uses kindness, compassion, all things like that to do their warrioring. It's a time where our idealism, we can run fast with our ideals. And kind of cling on to our different ideologies and use them to fight with or use them to motivate us. Let's come back up to a tall spine. Unwind your legs, take them out in front of you. We're going to do a seated forward fold again. Let's inhale, hands high, and then exhale, fold forward. Neptune is a planet that deals kind of with dissolving and like spreading things out. I know I say this a lot, but I think of mist every time I think of Neptune, because mist is really just kind of a body of water dispersed through the air. The molecules are spread out. I think of smells, I think of imagination, I think of like that healing light that comes from your hands. All of those things, I think of Neptune. I think of empathy, I think of understanding. I also think of confusion and not tangible answers. or manipulation, deception, smoke and mirrors. Like all of that stuff kind of has a similar feel to it. Let's bring our spine back up so it's nice and tall. We'll come back to our tabletop position. Take your time getting there, but once you get there, move through a few more rounds of cat and cow. Just get the spine moving again. If you would rather do side to side movement, some C curves, listen to that. Come back to a neutral spine. And then lift your left leg up towards the wall behind you. Point your toes down to the ground and then set that left foot over on the right side of your mat. Look around your right shoulder for your heel. Let's bring this left foot up between our hands and then straighten your left leg out a little bit. We're going to lengthen our chest, lengthen our spine, and then fold your chest forward towards your straight left leg. One of the things I've been trying to, I just wish I could research all the time. That would be I think that would be one of my dreams. But as I was looking back into time to look at the patterns and look what was going on, I was surprised by some of the things that I found about Abraham Lincoln. Let's move into our shoestring. So bend your front knee again, wrap your left knee around your right, open your feet out wide, and then put your seat down between your feet. Let's take our arms open, big and wide. And then eagle arms, left arm goes under right arm. Put your elbows at shoulder level and then pull your shoulder blades back together just ever so slightly. Move your shoulders down away from your ears. And then on your next inhale, unwind, reach your arms out in a big stretch and fold your way forward. President Lincoln, well, it's been more than a decade since I learned about Lincoln. And as it turns out, I just did not care about history in high school. I didn't. You couldn't make me. So there was a lot of stuff that I've just washed away over the years. I don't remember a lot, but he was, from what I remember, I feel like he was painted in this amazing light. He was Honest Abe, and I don't know. I just feel like people look back at him very fondly. And while that might be warranted, I think that there's just some interesting things that he did that seemed like not very constitutional. Like he made it so the president could decide if someone goes to trial or not. He suspended the writ of habeas corpus, which is, we all think of ourselves as having that right to a fair trial by a jury of our peers. If we do something or if we are accused of something, we get to have a fair trial. But during the Civil War, Lincoln said, no more. If you're writing out against the war, habeas corpus, denied, you're going to jail. He closed down more than 300 newspapers as well. And that all of that just kind of feels kind of like Neptune and Aries. Like we put him up on a pedestal as the super honest, super, non-human person that could just do no wrong. But like he even came back before the end of the war and was like, this isn't constitutional what we're doing, according to like the Lincoln Library of Artifacts or whatever. So who knows? I wasn't there. I don't know what's true, but I think we could learn from patterns in our history, to not put other people up on pedestals. People are people. I think that those people that were dissenting, that were saying, government, I don't want to fight in a war, um, those people were fighting for what they actually believed in instead of going to war to fight for something that they don't believe in. That's Neptune and Aries too, fighting for what you believe in, standing up for what you believe in. Let's bring our spines back up tall. Take your legs out long. And one more forward fold. Let's inhale our hands up high and then exhale, fold chest forward. You might think like, that's cool, Maggie, but I don't really understand why that matters. Well, because other presidents have used that act passed by Lincoln. Woodrow Wilson used it in the World War I, also arresting people that were protesting the war. I don't know that he closed newspapers down, but he made it so you could be arrested for if you didn't want to talk about the war in a positive light. And then FDR did the Japanese Internment Act, which is where they rounded up over 100,000 Japanese Americans and said, you have to go live in this concentration camp. And it doesn't matter who you are. There's no due process here. There's no trial. There's no jury. This is just facts. So it does matter. Actions of past peoples ripple forward in time. Let's bring our spines back up tall. Recline to the ground. Bring your body down. Spine, hips, shoulders, head, everything comes down to relax on the floor. Let's take our right ankle over our left knee for a reverse pigeon. Pull your legs in towards your chest. And then either find stillness or movement. I think that all of our actions have ripples, such as that I just described. I don't think it's possible to always know where they're going to end up or where they're even are capable of accessing. But everything ripples on. Our thoughts ripple on in our bodies. Our feelings ripple through our bodies. Our actions ripple through space and time and also through our bodies. And it's just everything is so connected. Let's release this side and move to the other side. As we move into this shift in energies, I want you to remember everything from today's practice. We're going into energies that are unfamiliar to us. No one alive right now has lived with Neptune and Aries, which is kind of wild. We're getting into maybe just very slightly unfamiliar territory. But we're sensitive to that. Remember that perception kept us alive, kept our populations going. Let's release this side. Put your feet down on the mat, open your arms wide. Cross your right leg over your left, drop your knees to the left and your eyes to the right. We can use our own breath as a means to soothe our body. If we start to notice like, oh, wow, yeah, something feels different, something feels off, it feels unpredictable, that is our cue to focus on the exhales. Focus on the exhales. Remember your own compass, your own morals, your own ideals. Slide your knees back towards center. We'll switch sides, cross the left leg over, drop your knees to the right, your eyes to the left. The really cool thing about uncharted territory or unknown territory is that we get to like start from scratch. We get to build from that place of like new, of unknown. While the known is very soothing for our systems, the unknown, I feel like, has the most potential. Like an unlimited potential because it's unseen. Our body is back towards neutral. Take your arms open and rock a couple times side to side, moving your knees, some fluid moving back through your pelvis again. Back to your center, and then set your body up for final resting pose. Any shape, any posture, you're welcome to settle into. I do encourage you to focus on your exhales. Really let your nervous system know that you are in a very, very safe place. There's nothing to fear. Take a big breath in. Take a big breath out. And start to move your fingers and your toes. Take your arms over your head and stretch everything out really wide, really far. Take up as much room as you can. And then relax your muscles, relax your body. Slowly come up to a seated position. Keep your eyes closed. Relax your shoulders. Bring a hand to your heart and a hand to your belly. Let's take a moment to just be excited to live during a time that probably no one else in our families have, or at least like, our immediate families, grandmas, grandpas, parents, siblings, just all the potential that lies in that uncharted territory. With all my love and all my gratitude, namaste. Mm.